Ontario Premier Doug Ford was in Thunder Bay talking about the port and transportation and taking questions.
It's always great to be here in Thunder Bay. I got to tell you folks, if I start slurring a little bit, I had massive dental stuff done there. I think he was digging for critical minerals or something, but so just bear with me. I can feel it already. But anyways, before we begin, I want to start by thanking all the firefighters, emergency personnel responding to wildfires, putting their lives on the line every day to protect others, especially during wildfire season. Not only here in Northern Ontario, but across the province and across the country. To the people affected by wildfires, I want to assure you that our government is doing everything we can to keep them under control and keep people safe. And I want to thank the City of Thunder Bay for hosting the vulnerable members of the Peawanak First Nation. I apologize if I didn't get that right. First Nations and all First Nations communities. I think the world of them, by the way. We have an incredible relationship during these challenging times. Now it's great to be back here in Thunder Bay. Every time I come here, Kevin, we have great announcements. But, you know, we're here with two incredible ministers. You heard from Minister Hall and Imperi. You know, Kevin, people don't realize, I think this has to be a record for Thunder Bay. Since you've been elected, we've had 178 ministers' meetings, visits here. And I think it's about $3.5 billion here announced at Thunder Bay. I don't think that's ever happened. I also want to acknowledge Councillor Goodchild. Councillor, I can tell you, we will always be there for you. We'll always have a great relationship, and we'll always make sure First Nations is part of any decisions being made. Mayor Dumas, who has been an absolute champion for the people of Marathon and at Noma, so he's like the Grand Poobah over at Noma, and thank you for all that work. Mayor Boschkoff, thank you for our friendship, first of all, our relationship. We worked so well together over the years. I want to, first of all, thank you for all your years of public service. And on the way over here, I was walking to the mayor, and I said, Mayor, you're hanging up your skates, but I told him we have a lot of areas that we need help in, and we have, 3,500 appointments, but we'd love to keep you going and keep you busy. If you're good for that, we'll figure something out, because what an incredible man. He really is an incredible man, and for his whole life of public service. I also want to thank Chris. Thank you for doing a great job here as the CEO of the Port Authority. It's a bright future, and we're going to do a tremendous amount of work here, and we're going to make sure there's a lot of people employed. So, Chris, thank you for hosting us today. Folks, our government was elected with a mandate to protect Ontario. I always say I have many jobs, but my number one job is to protect the people, protect communities, protect the businesses they work in. That's what we're going to do, and that's what we're delivering on our plan. While we may not be able to control President Trump, matter of fact, I don't think anyone can control him, but this is when I start getting off script. I got to stay back on script. We're controlling the decisions we make here in Ontario by building the most competitive, resilient, and self-reliant economy in the G7. We're cutting red tape and keeping taxes and fees low. Matter of fact, we have never ever raised a tax since we've been elected in 2018. I will never raise a tax. You know, folks, I always say with the municipalities, the 444 of them, and the province and the federal government, we have to create the environment and conditions to attract investment right here in Ontario. And that's exactly what we've done. Through great leadership of Minister Vic Fedeli, traveling around the world, he's invested, we've seen over $222 billion of investment here in Ontario. And isn't it amazing, folks, when you don't raise taxes, you put money into people's pockets, there's 1 million more people working paying taxes, there's $71 billion more going up the Queen's Park coffers. It's incredible how that works. It's called Economics 101. And we're investing in our workers. Through our $236 billion plan to build, which is the largest infrastructure plan of its kind in Canadian history. I would even say in North America. I'd like to challenge any state, because I know the folks down there, I don't know of any of them investing $236 billion. We're building hospitals, schools, highways, and transit to connect communities, create jobs, and grow our economy. Because with a strong economy, we can invest even more in world-class services like healthcare and education that Ontario families are counting on. That's what I always say. I always say the foundation of our healthcare, of our education, of the infrastructure relies on one single thing. That's our economy. That's what pays the bills. So here in Thunder Bay, we're investing nearly $500 million to refurbish 181 GO Transit rail cars at the Alstom plant. There's some great folks over there. I remember when I first visited them, when I first got elected, they were looking like they were closing the doors, but not any longer. We're also investing nearly $1 billion to purchase 55 new subway cars for Toronto that will be assembled by Alstom right here in Thunder Bay, creating hundreds of good-paying jobs. I love those people over there. They're hardworking folks. We're building and upgrading hospitals, including the Thunder Bay Regional Health Science Center, investing over $93 million to build a new cardiovascular surgery program, and $9.3 million to expand on-site cancer treatment. I'm very passionate about helping people that are battling that terrible disease, connecting more people in northwestern Ontario to life-saving cancer care closer to home. And as part of our plan to connect everyone in Ontario to a family doctor or primary care provider by 2029, we've invested $5.2 million in 5 local primary care teams who have already surpassed their targets, connecting over 11,000 patients to care in the community. You know, those folks are champions. We're doing it across the province and helping people. We're also making record investments to get shovels in the ground faster for new homes, including more than $28 million in projects across Thunder Bay to enable the construction of 1,200 new homes and protect 48,000 existing homes through our municipal housing infrastructure program. We're making these investments to ensure families, workers, and businesses have the world-class services and infrastructure they need to thrive in northwestern Ontario. Because Thunder Bay and Northern Ontario are a vital link between our province and the rest of the country. As Ontario works to strengthen our supply chains and boost trade with other provinces, in the last 2 years alone, we've invested $450 million in the north to build and repair roads, bridges, and highways, including along Highway 11, 17, and 1117 together. And we're expanding Highway 1117 from 2 to 4 lanes and between Thunder Bay and Nipigon to improve highway safety and keep up with increased demand for these routes. You know, folks, I get a lot of calls about Highway 11, 17, and 1117. We're going to go as quickly as we can. Safety is a massive issue. We did a blitz with the OPP and MTO, and they laid 76 charges. And so we're going to be all over this. We're building new... Sorry, folks, I apologize. We're building new pipelines, rail lines, airports, and marine ports that will reduce our reliance on the U.S. and help us find new customers for Ontario products overseas. As part of that plan, today I'm thrilled to announce that our government is investing more than $2.8 million through our Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation to build and upgrade port facilities in Marathon and right here in Thunder Bay. I think the dentist left something in my throat there while he was... I just can't kick this thing. This funding will be used to expand the port of Thunder Bay, storage and cargo staging capabilities, and create a marine terminal at the Port of Marathon so that these ports can increase cargo volumes and ship more local products, including critical minerals from the Ring of Fire, forestry products, grain, and potash, as well as components for pipelines and wind turbines to southern Ontario and other provinces and around the world. With over 10.7 million metric tons of cargo moving through its facilities in 2025, and the vast majority of that cargo moving domestically or to international markets other than the U.S. The Port of Thunder Bay is one of Canada's critical inland ports and a gateway to the western provinces in Europe. Today's strategic investment will ensure both ports are positioned to capitalize on once-in-a-generation opportunity in the Ring of Fire now and for decades to come. I'm thrilled to be here for this important announcement, and I look forward to continuing to work with both great mayors, and they're both incredible mayors, and First Nations partners and other provinces and territories to unlock economic opportunity and build the strongest, most resilient and self-reliant economy in the G7. I want to thank you for having me here today, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much.
We will now take questions from the media. The media can come to the microphone and state their name and outlet. Just a reminder, the format is one question and one follow-up. First question.
Premier, thanks for taking my question. James from Net News Ledger.
Hi, James.
Sent out an email from the Ontario PC Party on the weekend about building Fortress North America.
Yes.
That starts in many ways, despite everything we can make, if we can't get it to market,
That's right.
we're in trouble. And that's where secure transportation on Highway 1117,
Yeah.
whenever there's closures, Canada's cut in half.
Yes.
The secret is to have a divided highway, a new national dream for Ontario. What can Canada and Ontario do to make that happen?
Well, first of all, making sure it's safe. Safety is a priority. We've had a lot of accidents, unfortunately, a lot of deaths on those highways. So what we've done to make it safe, first of all, we had Transport, MTO, Ministry of Transportation, and OPP work jointly, and they pulled, I think it was 18 trucks off the road, laid 76 charges, a multitude of different charges. But we're investing in those highways in a big number, and I don't have that number. I don't know if you do, Kevin, off the top of your head, but I know it's a tremendous amount of money, and I just want to start moving faster, quicker, immediate. And I'd love the federal government to be involved and support us on that. We haven't seen that yet, but it's a major corridor going into Manitoba and the rest of the country. So I'll be all over that. I'll get the numbers for you offline there. We'll send them over to you.
Okay, and staying with transportation, based on the known state of MTO remote airport infrastructure across the fly-in communities of the north and the service levels, does the government plan on investing in remote airports? A recent policy framework was released by the industry supported by NAN and FOMA and the Northern Ontario Affordability Plan based on low density and remote airports on provincial initiatives. Will the Premier comment on that?
Well, we always want to support the North. We always want to support our Indigenous communities. And I don't want to pass the buck. We're all in, but the feds need to start pitching in some of the federal areas. One is airports. But I'm always there to support. I'm there to support, especially up the Ring of Fire. We're going to be redoing the runways up there and local airports as well. So I'm in, but we can't just go it alone all the time. The feds have to step up and start pitching in. And I have not yet seen that. So they keep talking about, now you got me on a roll, and it's not against the feds. I get along very well, by the way, with them and with the Prime Minister. But we keep talking about the Ring of Fire. The province has put up $1 billion, $1 billion to build roads and help with the airports. Guess how much the feds have put in? Zip, zero, zilch. So they keep talking about it. Rather than talking, show us the money. Because people in the north need this. They need the infrastructure. We just can't do it alone. But we're looking at about $600 million to expand and repair transportation and infrastructure across Northern Ontario. Isn't it amazing when I say something, they're able to pull it up on the screen like that? So, but that's a lot of money. That's $600 million to expand and repair transportation. and infrastructure across Northern Ontario.
Hello, Mr. Premier. Lee Thunnock with Thunder Bay Source and TV News Watch. Your government has said you want to keep the Thunder Bay District Jail open for 5 years beyond the opening of the Thunder Bay Correctional Centre that is being built right now. Saul Mamakwa is calling for, if not its immediate closure as soon as possible. Your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, we just want to make sure we get some consultation, and we built a nice jail, very nice jail up here. Matter of fact, it looks like the Four Seasons Hotel. I'm not sold on that. When people commit crimes, they shouldn't be in this fancy-dancy jail, but we're going to invest in it, and let's see what we do with the old jail. Do we renovate it? Because we need more cells. We put $1.2 billion to build a new state-of-the-art Thunder Bay Correctional Complex. That's a lot of money to keep the bad guys in jail. $96 million for expansion projects at the Thunder Bay Correctional Center and Kenora Jail as well. So we're pouring money into the jails. What I'd like to see is the feds change some of the laws. And I'll just speak. You may not get as many home invasions here as they do in Toronto and the GTA, but it's out of control. We need mandatory sentences. If bad guys are going to terrorize neighborhoods, break into homes, terrorize families, they need to go to jail. We don't need any weak need judges saying, oh, they're out on bail. Because, folks, I get the calls. I get the messages. People have been out on bail not once, not twice, 4 or 5 times. We can't have that. So the federal government controls the criminal code. I'll build more jails. They keep throwing people in jail. That'd be great. Keeping these terrible people off the streets and terrorizing neighborhoods. It's getting really bad in Toronto and the GTA.
A recent Angus Reid poll has your approval ratings at 21%. What does that say to you about the public's perception of your direction of government, and what can you do to reverse those numbers?
I love this Angus Reid. They put this fake poll out. They poll the NDP and Liberal caucus. Our polling, along with other polling companies, show, since you brought it up, I don't like boasting and bragging. The election was held today. We're at 41%. We'd win a massive majority once again. I'll tell you the reason we'd win another massive majority is because we're creating jobs. We aren't raising taxes. We're putting money into people's pockets. We're seeing a great economic growth. Folks, when the rest of North America, and believe me, we're in uncertain times, you see the job numbers come out in April, 42,000, which is spectacular on good times, and another 42,800 in May. And out of those jobs in April, 9,000 manufacturing jobs. And everyone thinks manufacturing's leaving, 12,800 manufacturing jobs. And guess what? I put a tweet out there, not to poke President Trump, but he gets a little thin-skinned when I speak. But we created more jobs, 681%. Think of that, 681% more jobs per capita than the entire U.S. The big economic engine, 350 million people, 681%. So, and as for that poll, they do it about twice a year. I got a hold of their methodology once. Folks, they went into a hardcore NDP neighborhood downtown. They didn't do it across. It's little games, and then you guys run with it. So the truth of the matter is we'd form a massive majority if the election was held today for the 4th time. So thank you.
Good morning, Premier. Sarah Law, CBC News, Thunder Bay. You've been pushing for development in the Ring of Fire, but not all First Nation leaders agree with your approach, particularly with the fast-track development measures in Bill 5. What would you say to those who say things are moving too quickly without meaningful consultations?
We will always consult with First Nations community. They've been incredible partners ever since I've been in office. My goal, and I'm sure the leaders of the First Nations, and because I talk to a lot of them almost every single day, they want their communities to be better. They want their kids to have a future. They want their kids not to be living on gas and natural gas. They want electricity, transmission lines. They want to be partners. Just with exactly what we're doing here, no matter what we do, they should be partners. And their lives are getting better because we're stepping up to the plate, no matter if it's here or the Ring of Fire or all over Ontario. That's what we're focusing on until they have proper health care. We're building long-term care homes. We're building community centers, and I communicate with them constantly. There's no premier that's ever picked, and this is what they're telling me, they can pick up the phone and call, and they actually get a call back, and we talk about projects. So they'll always be consulted, but they'll always be part of the investments. Not in a little way, in a massive way, we're changing their lives.
Thank you. My follow-up is that Thunder Bay continues to have the highest opioid-related death rate in the province. Frontline workers are doing what they can, but people are still dying. Besides the city's Heart Hub, what is the province doing to support those affected by addiction?
Well, first of all, the Heart Hub, as I'm very passionate about helping people, Heart Hubs, we're spending over $560 million to actually give people the support that they need. Think of that. Now, rather than giving out needles, that the old program was, that I totally disagreed with, it's like giving someone an LCBO card that's an alcoholic and telling them to go there every single day. I don't believe in that. I believe in giving them proper shelter. I know Thunder Bay received over $6.4 million every single year, and also $2 million per year for a new youth wellness hub in Thunder Bay. So we're trying to help people get back on their feet, find gainful employment, and get off the drugs.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Premier, Joey Langdon, TBT News. As we came in today, there was OPSU workers at the gate. That strike has now reached about a month. Is the province committed to reaching a fair deal as soon as possible?
Okay, so it's not the province. I keep stressing this. This is the service providers. We give money, a lot of money. We've increased it dramatically. And the service provider works with the unions, and I think we almost have half of them already completed, done. So there's the other half that has to get done. I think they do incredible work. They work very hard, the OPSU folks, and we appreciate the work they do. So they just need to work like the other OPSU areas that we've signed deals, or the service provider signed deals, and let's get it done. I don't, folks, I've always said, strikes never work. Everyone gets hurt. The people they're serving gets hurt. The union members always end up getting hurt. They, even when they negotiate, they don't make up the difference on the strike. I always say, let's get management and union leaders, lock them in the room and don't let them out until a deal gets done. And then everyone wins. I hate strikes. I hate them. They never, ever, ever work. For the union members, by the way, and for the people they're serving.
On the note of protests that the province has faced recently,
Yeah.
Grassy Narrows, they've called for the Dryden paper mill to be shut down because it's been found that the chemical runoff there is continuing to cause poisonous environment in Grassy Narrows. Do you have any commitment to the people of Grassy Narrows that either the Dryden mill will be shut down or remediation will take place?
Well, I think we need to sit down and support them. Again, I keep throwing up the federal government. That's a big responsibility of the federal government. Just when it comes to First Nations folks, I'm just telling you facts. We do more for First Nations than the feds, 10 times more. And I'm not piling on. I'm just telling you the facts. On reserve, the federal government should be supporting Indigenous communities, and we're pouring money into First Nations. I'd love to support them any way we can. Number one priority is to have clean drinking water for everyone in Ontario. But again, where are the feds, right? Where are they?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi there, Sam Goldstein, Acadia Broadcasting.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, you just mentioned that clean drinking water is a top priority in Ontario.
Yes, it is.
Well, this morning at the House of Commons, Bill C-37 was introduced, which is calling for greater protections for clean drinking water for First Nations.
Yep.
A year ago, your government asked the federal government to not reintroduce this bill. Has your position changed at all on this legislation in the last year?
No, I haven't read that bill. I'd have to look into it. But we believe in having clean drinking water for everyone, including First Nations. So that's a priority. But I haven't seen that bill. I'll have to look into that.
Well, if I could just follow up, at the time last year, the argument from your government had been that these protections might get in the way of the fast-tracking processes that your government's currently instituting to speed up development in the Ring of Fire. So I guess my question to you would be, do these two things have to be in opposition to each other?
No, it's not either or, it's and. Let's have clean drinking water and let's move fast to create more economic development. It can be done, both. But let me look into the bill and we'll be able to get back to you on that one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Premier. Mike
Morning.
McDonald, APTN National News.
Hi, Mike.
Just going back to the issue with the Thunder Bay District Jail and the inquest into the death of Kevin Mamakwa at the jail. Aside from the recommendation that the jail be closed when the new correctional center opens, other recommendations focus on providing addiction and mental health treatment and Indigenous cultural supports. What do you think?
I'm all for it. Any way I can help people, if it comes to drugs, alcohol, any addictions, I'm all in. So we'd be more than happy to support them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike
Hi.
Stimson,
Mike.
TV News Watch. I want to go back to transportation. Now you talked about we talked about highways and especially northern airports. Now, what do you say to the opposition criticism that your government's priorities are out of whack on transportation, especially air transportation, given the push to expand an island airport in Toronto?
Well, do you want me to answer the island airport? Number one, that falls under the Port Authority. We want to expand it, and every time we go out on a polling, it's over 70% of the people. They want convenience. They want lower costs rather than having to go up to Pearson. Pearson's a great airport. They do a great job up there, but it's jammed, and the prices are higher up there. So all the people downtown and around southern Ontario, and northern Ontario actually, they'll have an opportunity to fly in to an airport that's going to be convenient. And private equity is going to invest over $5 billion. It's not going to be $1 of taxpayers' money, but I think this is the right thing to do. It's going to create over 3,000 jobs, and that's what we need to do. It's simple as that. It's going to be a great airport, and every major city has two airports. We have one large one, Pearson, and now we have another one that's going to be Billy Bishop. But it's going to be phenomenal. And we aren't flying big jumbo jets and everything, all the other nonsense they say. We'll be landing jets for the convenience of people all around Ontario. Matter of fact, all around Canada and the U.S. The more I think of this, so it's a great move.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
This will be the last reporter.
Welcome, Premier. Sandy
Thank you.
Krasowski, the Chronicle Journal newspaper.
Thank you.
Sir, the City of Thunder Bay is scrambling to find any sliver of land for housing development. The Ontario government is holding on to the Lakewood Psychiatric Hospital, the former psychiatric hospital facility, with acres of property. What can be developed for housing?
Yeah.
Are there plans for this facility? Can it be released? Can it be developed?
Well, I'll look into Infrastructure Ontario because there's a lot of psychiatric hospitals that have closed, and we're building homes. We're building homes in a psychiatric hospital just outside of St. Thomas, and any other area that we can create more opportunities rather than let a derelict piece of property and a building sit there. Let's make it into a beautiful community. Let's build homes for the people of Thunder Bay. So I'm on that.
Thank you. And final question,
Yes.
sir. Way off back to Alstom, is there any word on headway being made with the Via Rail contract?
I'll double check. I don't have that off the top of my head, but you know what I love about the folks at Alstom? And, when I first went there, they were in deep trouble in 2018, and I promised them there'll be work coming. And ever since we promised them, we've been rolling in massive investments to build the trains that we need down in Toronto and other places. But we're keeping them very busy. with a $500 million investment and then another $1 billion investment to build streetcars and subways. So I'm excited for them. They have certainty, and that's what everyone wants, folks. They want stability, they want certainty, and we're going to get through this trade deal with the U.S., and I'm down there promoting it. I'm going to be heading down again to South Carolina with the governor's meetings. Folks, it's all about building relationships. But I can tell you what's happening in the U.S. When I went down to Washington. The ground is shifting. I can feel it, no matter if there's Republican or Democrat or any of the organizations, be it the auto sector down there, the defense sector, or the agricultural sector. People are losing patience with an administration right now. That's my personal opinion. I could feel it. And again, going back to certainty and stability. No one wants uncertainty in their lives. They want certainty and they want stability. No different than companies. Once we get this deal, you can see 2 countries, 3 countries, and Mexico too. They're going to boom, the likes of which we've never seen in North America before in investment, because when there's uncertainty, investment gets held. And when there is certainty, investment opens up. All of a sudden, there's more manufacturing, more production, more jobs, lower costs on goods. So we're going to keep working, and I'll be working with the governors down in South Carolina. I think I leave Sunday, be back Monday, I believe. Saying one night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, folks. Great again to be back here in Thunder Bay. You have a team of champions over here, and let's continue moving forward. Thank you, and God bless.
Subscribe for more information. Net News Ledger is your local news source.